Dowse, we finished pre-season with a 1-0 loss away at Canvey. What did you make of the game today?
Oh, I thought it was awful. It was great pre-season friendlies, you know. The back three were hopeless and got worse in the second half. The Wadens couldn't get a ball in the box. Formation we're not going to be playing next week. Except when young Sam come on, we never made a tackle, we didn't create anything really. Forwards were awful. So yes, it was a great pre-season friendly, to be honest, and great to get out with systems. Couldn't think any pluses apart from young Sam and me trailer, so I'm going to sign tomorrow. Come through, that little short ball but the back four played. Got a free kick from it. Free kicks come from about 40 yards in the bottom corner. I didn't know that happened either. So yes, I thought it was useless and crap, to be honest. And I'm just glad to get out the systems. And apart from that, we've done very well pre-season. But when we two centre halves have been brilliant. So last pre-season we're pretty awful today. Our manager picked the wrong team, and manager was pretty awful as well. So as my staff. So we had one day at the office where it was all awful, to be honest, you know. And but the only thing is, what I'm upset about, it makes me easy to next week when I get these two players in, and it makes me easy to pick a team for next week. Taking an 18-man squad down there, we've got 19 decent players, to be honest. We've got a decent side, we've got some quality players who will be in their right positions next week. And I used it as a game where I knew it was going to be usually these games before a week starts. But I'm glad to get out of the way, because if I had it happen next week, then it would have been problems, you know. But getting Wally a few minutes at the end all helps. And all this, but I thought except for Sam and because I even put the Wadens on wider in the second half, and we couldn't get a ball in the box either. And but listen, we lacked quality today, we lacked everything today, and like I say, manager picked the wrong team, and not the wrong team because we need to get minutes. But Luke Allen getting 90 minutes up Swiss plus as well, but quality wise was playing awful all round. So from the manager to the players to everybody else, they got up their game next week, which we'll do, and then we'll be fine. So they've proved it against teams above how good some of these players are. It's just the day didn't help us. So I thought the players had a bad day at the office, and I thought the manager did too. So
So pre-season, as you say, is about learning, is about preparation. Did you feel like you learned enough today?
Learned, so probably the game I did learn. So you learn about the players sometimes when things go against them. And a fair play at Canvey Island, who I thought were excellent today, and an excellent run club actually. I've known John Batcher on time, and it was lovely to see him here. But and I knew it would be one of them where players don't want to get injured, and players don't want to put their foot in, and players don't want to get Canvey's little knocks. No, I get all that to do. And listen, I'm not that concerned about all that. I am, but I did learn a lot about some players who, when the going gets tough, go a little bit hiding, and make one mistake too many, and all of that. But listen, it was just a typical pre-season game where it was actually awful.
Yeah. You mentioned Luke Allen getting 90 minutes now. That's got to be a big plus.
Got a plus, and Mertz will be fit for Saturday as well, and all that, you know. And Wally could be fit as well now, and all of that. And that opens the door for a few things. No, we're not risking different things. We're not today. We haven't, and like I say, we'll work on a formation we've been working on training, not so much matches. So this was one of them. But 4 from 1 to 11, we were really, really poor. And when that happens, it's not really a concern, because if you get 1 or 2 who are poor. But listen, I'm not daft how players think as well, you know, where they'll probably think of it in the team for next week, where they may get a bit of a shock, and may get a bit of shock what's coming their way this week as well. But no problems at all, no hassles and out and all that, you know. I take my fair share of responsibility if you put a team out like that and performs like that. You got to look at yourself as well. So even if I'm tinkering a little bit today, which I want to do, and possibly did Tuesday night as well, it ain't a problem. So listen, it's football, let's move on. All that, you know, nobody's ever going to remember pre-season come next week, and I know there's a lot more to come from the players, and I know it'll be better for next week, and I know that it'll be better in the weeks to come. So that ain't a problem to me at all. But it was just a really bad day at the office, and I'm delighted it's happened today, because I think it was getting a little bit too carried away about them 3 great results against the top, against some good opposition. Just today it was a bit more like, who had a good game? No one. But but we'll be better next week, and I'll be better as a manager next week.
Going into next week, you've mentioned about trialists maybe signing. How many can we expect? What type of players?
We'll sign the centre forward today. We will, and all that, you know. And we've always liked him. He scored a good goal against Boreham Wood, so that's one in there. I've been promised to get a couple in from different clubs and all that, you know, and that'll just add competition to places. It'll be placed 1 or 2 of them, of course it will, you know, because I wouldn't be signing them if I didn't think I could play. And but it's up to some lads. That's the only thing disappointing. If I was a player today, I would have, you know, and get a pre-season one, I would have been the most enthusiastic bloke ever if I was playing today, because it's their last chance to try to get in the team for Saturday. So if I was in the change room and said, who do you think will be playing Saturday? Oh yeah, well, I done well against Barnet, I done well, I'm not bothered. You're only as good as your last game. The day before, the week before the start of the season, some of the lads should have been flying, especially one who was on borderline, doing play him doing nothing. I kind of think of 1+ today, which is not a worry at all, because somebody's in the club. I said to Martin Taylor, "There's something's wrong." In a way, something was wrong because everything's been right. Everything's been spot on. So I said, if anything's spot on the football club, something's wrong. So I've just found out today what's wrong. So it's fantastic. They ain't a problem at all. So it's like, it happens like that when you have a club and everything's hunky-dory, everything's great. We're going to win the league, and we're going to get in the playoffs, and we're going to do all the things what we've done last season and all that, and stuff like that. It's a bit worrying because I couldn't really have a crack at any player really. But I've certainly had a couple of cracks today, and I've had a crack at myself and my coaching staff as well, because we're about miles off it today. But we won't be next week.
Yeah. We've now got a free week without a midweek game. What can you expect from next week, and what will be going on?
Well, what will happen is players will want to get our football side for next week. That's for certain. Some of them will be actually a bit concerned now about what's going on a little bit. But that's the actions you want for players. We'll get better this week. We'll be on it on Monday, and I think they'll be on it on Friday as well, Thursday, Friday, whatever. And I'm sure they'll be on it for next Saturday. And because they've showed enough this pre-season as players. And once I get my strongest team out, what I believe is the strongest team, or my strongest 16 out, there'll be 3 or 4 disappointed players, I imagine, who might have to get out on loan or whatever, because they'll need to play as well. Because people have been saying that the squad's thin. It's not thin at all. I've got 19 players today if everybody's fit. Adding a couple more, it's going to be quite strong. So I believe it's the strongest squad I've worked with for a long time. I believe that as well. And so I'm delighted how the squad's shaping up. It's just up to them to try to keep their places now. And there'll be a few people looking, thinking, when they thought of that great week we had when we played against all these high oppositions and doing very well, 1 or 2. But listen, I've told them and all that, I can't look on social media, I can't look on anything like that. It's a bad, once it's finished today, I'll be disappointed today, and I'll be disappointed all weekend, because I don't think I've done my job right. No, the bottom line is, I'll be hurting a little bit this weekend, even if it's a friendly, but come next week and all that, we'll be flying, and I'll be flying as well.
Brilliant. Cheers, Dowse.